Hello. The new Mothership has landed. Ah, the brand new Pat McGrath Petalmorphosis eyeshadow palette. And yes, I don't know how. This stuff never happens to me, but I got my hands on a signed palette by Mother. So excited. So I'm going to share swatches with you, details with you. We're going to create multiple looks. The color story, it's quite exciting. So I want to see how many fun looks can we create, how many wearable looks we can create, and let's just have some fun with the palette. That's my focus today. Trying the palette, sharing multiple looks with you, and enjoying a new palette from Pat McGrath because it has been a while. Let's hydrate and begin. It's said that the palette is going to give us wearable hues, opulent textures, and limitless artistry. We are also told that the palette is an avant-garden of blooming colors. So it has been a while since we have been given a Mothership eyeshadow palette from Pat. I know not everyone has been happy with the past releases, but I'm focusing in on this one and happy to have it. So on launch day, it was an early launch in the morning, and I happened to check the website a little earlier than the launch was expected, and it was available. I want to say maybe 20 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool. I went, I picked the option of the lavender packaging. I tried to use the discount code because usually Pat McGrath gives a little 10% discount code on her launch days, and it didn't work. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to futz with it. I'm just going to check out. I checked out. I was like, okay, that was smooth. I was still a little, because things happen. But then I got my email confirmation, and then I checked and my money was taken out of my bank account. So I was like, okay, cool, I can relax. That was a smooth process. All right, cool. So I can definitely say I had a smooth transaction the day of launch. So here is my signed, I can't even believe I have this in my possession. It's crazy. This is my signed lavender packaging Pat McGrath Petalmorphosis eyeshadow palette. The packaging is slightly ombre. It's soft, it's pretty. And yes, a while back, Pat McGrath did do a collaboration with Bergdorf Goodman and released a purple toned palette as well. I'll share that with you, but let's do our looks first. I'll save that towards the end. So this palette is described as a 10 shade palette that transforms eye artistry into blooming masterpieces with lush greens, lilac hues, and radiant neutrals. It's said that it's designed for all artistry levels, and I love hearing that because we'll dabble into that, with the multitude of looks that I'll get to share with you today. It features 4 luxurious finishes: creamy mattes, dazzling astrals, and jewel tone metallics that blend and layer seamlessly, sculpting and illuminating looks that captivate and stay put. It always sounds amazing, but we'll see, right? I too am very happy that we have something other than pink from Pat McGrath. And it's not to say her pink tones and her previous palette's color stories weren't pretty. That's not the problem here. It's just it's been a while since we've gotten a palette, a Mothership at that, because they were things that we looked forward to. We were very much into the formulation, the colors, because these are one of a kind. I truly feel that Pat McGrath Motherships are one of a kind. So it's very nice to have one. The packaging. It's very Pat McGrath Mothership, yes? It's just a little cardboard outer packaging, but its artwork is something. I think it's pretty. On the back, it does contain all of the ingredients and details. This is made in Italy. It does have a 18-month shelf life. I'll put in a close-up of all of that if you're interested in the ingredients and you want to pause to read. Now, when you open it up, underneath your palette, you do have your shade name sheet, because on the actual back of your palette, it's a fingerprint magnet. So let's start off with the swatches, and I'm going to start off with the 3 matte shades. Beautiful texture and consistency. The first 3 mattes. I'm gonna go ahead and just smooth over on this green one here. I'm gonna swatch these three and then we'll move over to these really fun shades over here. This shade right here, the texture is a little bit different. It feels not as smooth and a touch gritty. You can see this one, it's a little bit more textured, a little bit more chunky, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. And although she was a little different in texture, she does glide and apply color beautifully. Now the last 4 shades. This green one here had a similar texture to that other one. Wasn't as smooth as the other 3. You can probably see the texture's just a touch different, but still very smooth and beautiful overall, but just a touch different. And look at this shade right here. Ooh. Wow. I see pretty jewel tones, I see pretty one and dones, I see gorgeous bronzes, and the mattes are beautiful as well. Now on my viewfinder, these kind of sort of look similar, but this one is definitely more purple versus this one's just a touch more pink. So hopefully it's translating, because right now I'm seeing something a little different on my screen, but this shade has some really gorgeous shifts to it. Oh, look at this green. And again, the 2 shades, which were these 2, they had a little bit different of a texture and consistency, but overall were smooth and very, very pretty colors nonetheless. For the eyeshadow base today, we're going to be using the Alter Ego. I'll have everything listed and linked down below in the description box for you if I forgot to say anything. Brushes, all the details, all the things. With an investment like this, I want to look at this color story and share as many looks with you as possible. I want to go the wearable route. I want to go the one and done route. I want to go the bold and fun route. I want to go the let my brush guide me route. Right now, I'll tell you based on swatching, you could totally do an all matte look. I know you look at the palette and you're like, why would I want to do that? It's just options, and you want to be able to use your product. This is an investment, okay? That's a fair statement. So I'm approaching the palette as such. So I'm going to start off with this Surratt brush. So I'm going to go into the shade Twilight Lilac on this brush. It's packing on nicely. And I'm just going to blend this directly in my crease. That gave a nice wash, a very creamy matte indeed. I'm going to build a little on the outer eye. I do have my Sigma switch on my lap. It's nice and rubbery, so it just stays put. That is what I'll be using to clean my brushes in between. Wayne Goss E4. Let's go into the shade Divine Dawn. I'm going to apply this on the beginning portion. Hello. I will say it's going on nice and creamy. This shade, it's very ethereal. Very pretty. Same brush, the E4, I just cleaned it off. Now let's go into Astral Iridescent Iris. I am dying to get this on my eyes. I love the shift, although the texture was a little, let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit more chunky, but that's not to say it's not good. It's just different texture and consistency. Oh, that's beautiful. It's got like a purpley pink shift. I'm going to build that up a bit. Let's get a little closer. You can see. Very pretty. I'm just patting where those 2 colors meet, so we have a soft little meld and blend. Look at these shades on the eyes. Very pretty. Very ethereal, if you will. Let's put a coat of mascara and just pull it together really quick. Everything blended nicely, applied nicely, and this is a very soft and pretty look. All right. Nocturnal Bloom and my E3 brush from Wayne Goss. Oh, I am picking up. Right. Oh. And I'm going to focus this on the outer eye. I'm going to do placement first before I begin blending. I will say that this shade didn't swatch the best, but again, swatches are just a preview of what we have to expect. So let's see how this blends and builds and stuff. Okay, I'm just going in with a bit more. I haven't gone in with any additional. I'm just blending whatever's left on the brush. This matte, it's not as creamy as the other one, but that's okay. It's a totally different color, so the formula may be just a touch different, but not in a bad way. We're still getting there. But it feels a little bit drier, just a touch. Blitz Radiance Rhapsody. This gorgeous one right here. Oh, yeah. The swatch of this had me really excited. I've packed that on my E4 brush, and let's... Ooh, hello. Hi. Oh my. I'm going to leave the beginning portion of my eye. I want to put another color there. Oh, that's so pretty. I am pleasantly surprised at the literal bare minimal. Little dribbles, maybe one or two little specks of fallout. I'm very grateful for that. Astral Eden Envy, the lighter green, same brush. And I want to apply this on the beginning portion and meld the two colors together. Ooh. I don't need an occasion to wear a gorgeous green eye look. Ooh, I really like these two colors together. Ah. Let's put some mascara, kind of pull me together a bit. I love that I have two very different looks. And again, just a few little tiny specks of fallout. That's great. All right, let's create some more looks. Back in with my Syrah brush, and we're gonna go back into Twilight Lilac, this one. I like this color. It does a great job. It's smooth. It adds just the right amount of wash of color before you go into any other of the colors. It's nice. Blitz Bronze Supernova. This one right here, let's pick up on the E4 brush. Okay, this one's, it's a little crumbly. It's a little crumbly, but I think we're gonna be okay. Put this all over. That's pretty. Very pretty. She gave me a little fallout, but it's manageable. It's definitely manageable. I cleaned off my E4. Let's go back into Divine Dawn. There. And just put a touch right on that inner corner. That bronzy shade looks so gorgeous on the lid. Yes. Okay. We haven't tried Lunar Nectar yet, so let's go into Lunar Nectar. I'm going to use this small little fluffy brush, in particular the number 19 from Wayne Goss. He doesn't make these anymore, sadly. I'm going to focus this on the outer eye. Okay. Now, although this shade has those little sparkle bits to it, it's not super noticeable, so you can totally use this. I am going to take whatever's left off of the brush into the crease, keeping it soft. We haven't tried finger application yet, so I'm going to take Cosmic Fantasies, this one right here. This is like a purple bronze, because some angles it looks bronzy, and then some angles it looks golden, and some angles it looks like burgundy. I can get into it. I'm just gonna pat that. Ooh, hello. I love how easy that went on with the finger too, as to be expected. Astral Iridescent Iris. Let's pick her up and put her just a touch on the inner. Ooh. That's a pretty combo. That's a pretty combo. I could see the Cosmic Fantasies on majority of the lid, and then you take the Astral Iridescent Iris and bring it, because the purples, they go together so nicely. So here are our next looks. We'll classify this one as the soft and pretty vibes, and then this one just like a little bit more fun, but so pretty. I love how when you turn your head, the little shifts. And even when you just look straight forward, it looks good. Looks good. One more look. I've got one more look for you. Okay, so in my head, when I saw this color and on the swatches, this is the look that I feel like I'm gonna wear the most from the palette. So I'm glad I saved it for last. Lunar Nectar. The one, oh my goodness. The one with the little glitters, but I like the way this looked as a transitional shade, and I'm using that Surratt brush. Nice fluffiness. Blend that all in the crease, outer eye, just to add nice soft definition. I know I'm going to reach for this as a one and done. This is really pretty. And I like how easy it goes on. It goes on fairly easy, would you say? Going into Twilight Lilac. And I'm going to focus this just on the outer portion on the lower lash. Astral Sunset Splendor. We haven't gone into her yet. I just think this color is so pretty. And we're gonna put this all over the lid. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. This can go for a one and done kind of vibe, but we went in with that Lunar Nectar shade just to give a little wash in the crease. But this is giving one and done vibes, which always looks nice and pretty and simple, elegant, wearable. I know when you look at the palette, you're like, Monique, wearable? Let me show you. Absolutely. Again, this palette is an investment. We want to use it, right? We want to enjoy it. And okay, fine, you don't get to use a green every single day, unless you want to. That's fine. You can do a little lower lash line fun, but anyways, if you don't use a green every single day, that's okay. You use majority of your palette, it was worth it. You get to enjoy supporting Pat McGrath, which is always a good idea. And yes, look how pretty that went down. I'm going to go back into the Surratt brush. There's no additional product. I'm just going to use it to blend and soften the edges, make sure everybody's pretty, playing together nicely. I like how with this shade I can go on like a little softer, but then we can build it up like I did on the other eye. So that's nice. I feel like I want to put something on the inner. I do. Let's go into Divine Dawn. I really like this. Yeah, that shade is very pretty. But so is this one. Gosh. Just perfecting. I don't want that inner corner shade to overpower my look too much. But I like it. I'm going to go back into Twilight Lilac on the lower lash, just a touch more. Let's go in with a brown, or the Laura Mercier is like this really deep eggplant, and then the Tom Ford is a brown. Let's go in with the eggplant. It's gonna look black though. And mascara. And I think today we're gonna go in with 100, 100. Here we are. Honestly, I'm just telling you right now, this is gonna be my look. I love the way it looks on the eyes. It's so effortless, but it adds just enough to make you feel pretty. And it's very, I feel this to be very, very wearable. And again, I know when we look at the palette, you're like, Monique, wearable, wearable wear. Right here, and a couple of the other looks that I was able to create and share with you. So here is our final look. Here's that other purple palette I promised to share with you. This was a collaboration with Bergdorf Goodman, and this is, it was an existing color story, but I hadn't had it, so it worked out. Bronze Seduction. I know, so pretty, right? And I tell you, again, when I saw this, I was like, are those the same? No. Thankfully no. So I get to have both of these beauties in my collection. But if you're curious, here are the two. The good old days, Bronze Seduction. What a beaut. Yeah. Here is what my palette looks like now after I've used her, loved on her. I don't see any immediate hard pan happening because I have had that issue prior. But we're looking pretty good. Now, I admit, I said, Monique, maybe you should buy another palette because this is signed, you know? But I said, you know what? You bought the palette to use it. You bought the palette to enjoy it. You bought the palette to love it. But will I ever get rid of this? Absolutely not. I just want to share with you the beautiful looks I was able to create with this palette, and I'm going to take it for what it is. A gorgeous color story, a Mothership palette from Pat McGrath. Okay, and I enjoyed working with this palette. I enjoyed the looks that I was able to create and share with you. But of course, let me know what you guys think. I hope that I was able to share looks that you would feel comfortable wearing often if you choose to invest in this palette. I definitely think a palette like this, you may initially look at it and say, but I hope by sharing a couple of looks with you, you were able to see that you got some versatility in there. You don't have to stick to the over-the-top bold looks all the time. You do get some nice, fun, wearable looks as well. But as always, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please share your thoughts. Comment down below. Let's talk about it. Thank you for spending your time with me today, allowing me to share all of these looks using the new Pat McGrath Petalmorphosis eyeshadow palette. Please take a moment and give today's video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Stay beautiful, guys. I will see you very, very soon. Bye.